Hi, I'm Ted from Andy and Ted Fresh Produce. Now today I've got some really great cheeses, but I don't have any quince paste, so I thought I'd whip up a quince with apple paste. So it's a bit of a deviation on the traditional quince paste. The apple helps mellow out the sharp quince flavour a bit, but it'll go really well with some of these cheeses. I've got a French goat's cheese and a blue cheese here, as well as some pecorino. So we start by preparing the apples. I have 4 apples and 1 large quince, so it's a pretty good size there. The 4 apples, they're Bonza, and they weigh about 400 grams to 600 grams, and the quince should be about 400 to 600 grams, so about the same weight for each. Now I also have some sugar that we'll be adding to the preparation later on, and that's about 300 to 400 grams, again in that ratio. So we'll just start by preparing our quince and apple. So we'll peel these and remove the seeds and pith. Now it's important with the quince to make sure that you remove the entire pith from the inside, because it can be a bit fibrous and gritty. So we'll start by peeling them. Okay, so the apple I'm using today is the Australian Bonza apple. Now these apples are great for cooking. They really impart a great apple flavour, and they are quite stable if you're going to use them in an apple pie or maybe an apple crumble. They hold together really well. Just de-seeding them. Got to make sure we get all the seeds out, because we don't want that in our paste. I'll cut open this quince, and you'll see that there's a little bit of pith in here, and that the stem inside the fruit can be a little bit woody. Okay, so we've just got to make sure that we cut out all of that woodiness, and you'll find that the quince is a little bit woody in its fruit on occasion, and it does have a little bit of fibrous texture to it. Now we're going to deal with that later on in the preparation, and it's quite an important step in order to make sure that your quince paste is nice and smooth consistency. So we just take the quince and apple and we chop it up. Not too fine, but fine enough to aid in the cooking process. We have our apple and our quince ready. It's all chopped up when we've taken out the seeds and the pith. Now you'll see the lovely golden colour of the flesh of the quince. And it's quite funny, because most of us are familiar with quince paste as being a deep red colour. Now, quince turns that colour when it's cooked. It's part of the process. And this will go through today. We add it all to the pot, and we'll add to this about 750 mils of water. And it's just enough to help the fruit cook till it's soft. Our fruit's on the boil now, and we've got to cook the apple and the quince now for about 30 minutes until it's soft enough to break up when you pinch it. So got a steady boil. We'll just reduce that down to a medium boil now. You can leave the lid on, that just helps it speed along the boiling. So yeah, about 20 to 30 minutes should be fine. Apple and quince is cooked up quite nicely now. It's nice and soft, and it's ready to move on to making the paste. So I'm going to opt for the slightly easier method. Now I've got my sieve and bowl here, but I also have the hand whisk. So I'm going to whisk the fruit up into a nice creamy consistency, and then I'm going to pass it through the sieve. Now that that's all blended quite nicely, I can proceed to sieve it. Now this is just to make sure we get rid of any residual pulp or stringy fibres from the quince in particular. So I have my bowl with the sieve here. We just do it in batches, small batches at a time. I see it coming through there now. We just continue to work our way through the batch of paste. You can help it along by scraping the underside of the sieve. So we've finished straining the puree through the sieve. Now if you didn't have a hand whisk, you could always just use the sieve to make the puree. However, it's much more time consuming and it's a lot harder on the wrist. So now I'm just going to transfer our puree into another saucepan to continue the cooking. Get all of that puree in. That lovely golden colour. This is going to transform dramatically as we're cooking. We can add in our sugar now too. So 400 grams of sugar for this weight of puree. We'll just give that a stir through, and we're going to add this to the stove. We'll get it. Our quince and apple paste has been cooking along steadily now for around 2 hours, and you'll notice the colour change has been quite dramatic. It's now quite a deep red colour, and you'll notice how it's just bubbling along slowly and it's swelling. Okay, and when it's doing that, you can see how thick the paste is now too. I think it's about ready to come off the stove now. I'm using some non-stick ramekins. These are really good for making our quince paste, because the quince pops straight out when it's set in the fridge. If you don't have non-stick, what you can use is just normal standard ramekins with a little bit of cling wrap inside. So we'll just pour this out to a depth of about 3 or 4 centimetres. I've just taken our quince and apple paste out of the fridge, and it's been in the fridge for around 4 to 5 hours, which is adequate time to help the paste set. Now, the trick to removing the paste from the container is just to tease the paste with a knife just from the edge of the container. I'm just doing this ever so gently, just around the edge. Now this is a non-stick ramekin, so it makes the process of removing the paste easy. Now, as I said before, if you don't have any non-stick ramekins, you can always use a normal ramekin lined with cling film. There you go, it's turned out really easily there. And this is a perfect accompaniment to the blue brie cheese I have here, as well as a pecorino. Now, this is a fresh pecorino, Australian, so it doesn't have the bite of the aged pecorino, and a lovely aged French chèvre, so it's a goat's cheese. Now, we also have some light wafer crackers and a glass of rosé. So I'm about to kick back and enjoy this. So that's Andy and Ted's recipe for quince and apple paste. This recipe is available along with many others on our website at www.andyandted.com.au. So enjoy!